What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and we've got an absolute boatload of news today. Make sure you check back often. I may even have 8 videos. So much news from over the weekend. Make sure you click that red subscribe button down below so once in a while you get notified, and use the pinned comment below to enter to win an Xbox Series X. Now, The Witches, which was a remake of a popular film, failed badly. Just terribly. It was garbage in every way. The critics didn't like it. The fans didn't like it. And like most remakes, modern actors, modern producers, actresses, they don't get it. They don't get what made a movie good in the beginning. They think that they can just re-profit off nostalgia. I don't think that Octavia Spencer is a bad actress, but she was terrible in this film. Anne Hathaway sucked in this film. Just the acting was terrible. Everything was just bad, bad, bad. And even the website that would, of course, love to give you positive reviews, especially for the woke level in this movie, which I'm not even going to get into. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 50%, and the user audience gave it a 37%. Love Chris Rock and Octavia Spencer. It's just the movie sort of lacked the same feeling as the original. This was awful the whole way through. Bad acting, bad plot, bad everything. Hard to beat the original. Angelica Houston, the Jim Henson team. This, quote, new invention plot takes too many liberties and strays too far from the original novel for this viewer. Do yourself a favor and just watch the original 1990s film on Netflix. Hathaway is trash, worst remake ever. This is the worst movie I've seen since Dark Tower. Octavia Spencer fell flat, and Anne Hathaway's accent didn't help. If you love Roald Dahl, then you'll especially be disappointed watching this heap. It isn't worth a watch. First movie, much better. This is a poor adaptation of the book. The Witches blandly executed adaptation that lacks any personality and comes out as middling and indifferent. How about one last one? This movie cannot hold a handle to the original. Although the protagonists were strong, Anne Hathaway's performance as the Grand High Witch was rather boring. But to give her the benefit of the doubt, her lines weren't great either. Best to stay away from this and enjoy the original. Well, since they decided that they wanted to make several creative changes to appeal to a more progressive audience, let's see exactly what that progressive audience has to say. Strictly's J.J. Chalmers hits out at Anne Hathaway's The Witches for offensive portrayal of limb difference. What? Are these people, you're telling me that someone who's missing half their hand, their biggest concern as a Marine who lost part of his hand is being offended about movies? I wouldn't have believed this if it wasn't 2020, the year of our Lord. This war hero took to Instagram to share a pic of the Netflix's rebooted The Witches film starring Anne Hathaway. In the film based on the Roald Dahl classic of the same name, Anne plays the Grand High Witch, who, like the other witches in the film, has 3 elongated fingers on each hand and toeless feet. JJ, among many disability activists, to label the portrayal of limb difference as inappropriate. He shared the photo of his elongated hand alongside a still from the film with the Grand High Witch's elongated fingers. What? I don't get it. The former soldier had written, "Not a witch," in a marker on his arm. Whilst this depiction was not meant to offend, it is a classic example of the type of unconscious biases and carelessness that occurs in a creative environment that is lacking the insight and benefits of true diversity and representation. What? 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 Anne Hathaway's issued an apology for a depiction of the character in HBO remake The Witches, following a wave of backlash from, quote, limb-different individuals who took offense to the character's 3-fingered design. In the remake, Hathaway's version of the Grand High Witch is depicted with hands bearing only 3 fingers apiece, similar to the real-world congenital disorder acrodactyly, in an attempt to visually reinforce her, quote, monstrous nature. In an illustrated guide to how to recognize a witch, published in the original book, Dahl describes the various traits that can be seen among witches, particularly noting that witches had, quote, claws hidden by gloves. However, following the film's premiere on October 22nd, the film found itself under fire from advocates for the disabled community who believe that the High Witch's appearance would lead to real-world audiences to view individuals living with this issue and other disabilities as monsters. What? Oh my God. What? No, they won't. Retired Paralium? I don't know. Parallelmian? Sorry. Amy Marin tweeted, Warner Brothers, there's so much thought given to how this representation of limb differences would affect the limb difference community? Question retired. I can't even say that. Oh, holy crap. Paralympian. I think it's Paralympian, but this is just spelled wrong up here. I'm fully aware that this is a film and they are witches, said Marin in a statement attached to the tweet, but I'm still offended anyway. But witches are essentially monsters. My fear is that children will watch this film, unaware that they massively exaggerates the Roald Dahl original, and that the limb difference begin to be feared. What? What? Disappointed in the new Warner Brothers film The Witches, I myself a huge advocate of celebrating differences and especially limb differences. It's not unusual for surgeons to try and build hands like this for children and adults with certain limb differences, and it's upsetting to something that makes a person different being represented as scary. Yes, I'm fully aware that this is a film, but you're still offended by it. And I mean, what? English journalist and comedian Alex Brooker, himself born with deformities of hand, arm, and leg, wrote on Instagram, as someone with missing fingers, it's made me so sad to see how this portrayed as something to be scared of in the remake of The Witches. I know it's just a film. Again, everybody always qualifies that, right? I know it's Hollywood fiction, but listen to me. I want to be offended. I'm mad about this. I know it's ridiculous to be mad, but I still want to be mad, so please let me be mad about something that's ridiculous. I mean, what? Nobody who watched this film thinks that if somebody has a hand deformity that they're automatically a witch. I don't even want to use the word deformity. A hand difference. And everybody just losing their mind over it. Joining the witch hunt. Why do you think it's okay to exploit a disability and not see the pain it causes? What? Oh my God. Oh my God. These people are what I like to call job security. You see, Paralympic Games, limb difference is not scary. Differences should be celebrated and disability has to be normalized. Well, I don't know. I mean, look, in the adult world, I sure hope it is. I mean, it's not a normal thing to see, but it's not somebody's fault. And you know, just because somebody has a physical appearance that's different, they didn't choose that. And it doesn't really change what's here in their minds. I mean, of course, they're just as good as anyone else. And honestly, right now in 2020, it's, you know, there are plenty of tools and things to make life easier. Of course, people still are offended. Now, of course, Anne Hathaway has to apologize. It was never my intention for viewers to feel that the fantastical non-human creatures were meant to represent them. Of course, nobody thought that. This film about the power of kindness and friendship. It is our hope that families and children can enjoy the film and embrace this empowering, love-filled theme. Hathaway would then follow her Warner Brothers statement with an apology of her own, taking to Instagram to share a video produced by Lucky Finn Project, a nonprofit organization that exists to raise awareness and celebrate children who are individuals who are born with the limb differences. Let me start by saying I do my best to be sensitive to the feelings and experiences of others, not to be scrambling PC fear, or others not out of some scrambling PC fear, but because not hurting others seems like a basic level of decency we should all be striving for, she added. As someone who really believes in inclusivity and really, really detests cruelty, I owe you all an apology for the pain I caused. I'm so sorry. I did not connect limb difference with the GHW when the look of the character was brought to me, and if I had, I assure you this never would have happened. I mean, are people this soft? Let me apologize to all the bald, three-fingered with claws witches and also have toes that were offended by this film. They are the real victims. I mean, this is a literal work of fiction. Was Gollum created to, oh my God, like this is so dumb. I just can't even stand how dumb and weak people are. Stop getting so offended. Stop looking to be offended. The problem is, offense is monetizable and it's rewarded by places like Twitter. Make sure you take a minute to support alt tech, places like Parler, BitChute, and others. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.